The first video on my channel was kind of about how I developed this strong curiosity for hiking and backpacking. I also talked about some of the initial struggles I kind of went through when getting to this hobby in that video, and that video was something that I got really invested in, and while I do think some parts of the video were kind of corny looking back on it, those moments were very special to me.
Let's go, we made it.
I had never really touched anything outdoors related. I never hiked mountains or slept in the woods in my teenage or young adult years. I would say I was a very online person, and I was very shy of adventurous activities, so it became a very unique and rewarding experience to be put through my first backpacking trip. The first backpacking trip, it just had so much excitement around it for me.
Entering in the directions.
And I remember talking with my friend Grant about how both nervous and excited we both were during the leading moments up to the first trip. It just felt like the first time sleeping over at your friend's house and we were putting on our favorite movie. Is that even a good comparison? Yeah, I don't know. But I wanted to make a video to kind of reflect on everything. Maybe if you're watching this, you might be new to wilderness backpacking or thinking about pushing it a little bit further. I just want to lay out what a realistic journey might look like and what specific things I've experienced. Coming from a more, unexperienced background, I guess. The first thing is always the most memorable. The first time getting nervous. Not gonna be able to contact my parents. The first time getting excited.
Look at this.
The first laughs. I miss how exciting the first time was, and I'll probably never get that exact feeling again. Or can I? After all, every experience offers something new. This year I have gotten a lot more comfortable with backpacking. Sleeping outside no longer makes me that anxious. Planning trips takes a lot less effort. The wilderness feels less daunting and miles come easier. It's nice, but it feels like I've had more times to figure things out, and that shard of mystery has just kind of thinned. Because it's thinned, I look to other things to regain this mystery feeling. Earlier this year, during my last semester of college, I decided I was going to sign up for a group backpacking trip for a club. It was nerve-wracking to go and sign up for a trip where I didn't know anyone. I usually don't venture out to meet new people very often, but I felt like it was just something I needed to do. It was my last semester of college after all. This first trip with the club ended up being extremely memorable for me. The trip made me feel young again. I mean, I am still young, but I felt like a dumb kid doing dumb kid stuff again. A lot of the people were freshmen here, so they had this first year of college energy that was just very nostalgic to be around.
No, did we just miss a semi? God damn it! We missed a fucking semi!
They were just very easy to have fun with and be around. It felt like there was no plan for better or worse. Some guy tore his ACL on the trip, but we somehow managed to get him down the mountain and he was just fine. And it also ended up being 10 degrees colder than expected due to terrible wind chill. And most people just did not have the proper stuff to be comfortable during that night. During the morning, there was another group of dudes from another school, and they invited me to hang out by their fire during the sunrise. I learned that these guys tried to sleep in the fire tower, but since the floor was a grate, wind just went right through it and massive drafts were just funneled inside the tower. They seem like they've seen better days, that's for sure. It was like little moments like these that just kind of became really funny memories to me. This trip might have been one of my favorite experiences of all time. It was probably due to me not knowing how this would play out. Not even my most recent trips top this in my mind in terms of memorableness. It made me kind of sad though, because I wish I had done this sooner, and this was my last semester of college. So I really only had so much time to hang out with these people before I had to just move on with my life. But it's okay, because when I reflect on these experiences, the important takeaway I walked away with, and that I still have, is the fostering of a much more adventurous person. Adventurous in the aspect to kind of push my boundaries a little further, even if they were small increments. I am usually a reserved person when it comes to meeting new people, but I definitely feel like the few trips I did with these people really broke that boundary. It made it feel like that it was just a less daunting task. And I feel like these experiences actually gave me the next push. Which was the courage to try a solo overnight hike. At the start of the year, I wrote down a few things I wanted to do before the year ended, and a solo backpacking trip was on that list. It kinda had more meaning to me just because I decided to end my first solo trip early about 6 months ago. But yeah, a solo trip was exciting and definitely nerve-wracking at first. And even after doing 3 solo trips at this point, I always kind of feel a little anxious about them because I really do have no idea how they will play out. Like, where will my mind wander off to? What unexpected challenges will I face? Will I see a lot of other people on my trip? Or will a surprise storm roll in? The anxiousness is just part of the adventure, though, because if it was really that predictable, would it really be an interesting experience in the first place? Even though I tried out a lot of experiences for the first time in the last year, every trip can be a first time in a way. You could redo a hike in a different season, and it might give you a very different impression of the experience. Or the weather could be different, creating a different atmosphere. Just small changes can add a lot of flavor. Hiking is just walking, and walking might seem like this repetitive, monotonous thing, but by doing this thing, you always manage to stumble upon new, unexpected experiences or feelings. In a way, it could be self-exploration, allowing whatever conditions to transport your mind to different places. For me, I really think solo backpacking is really about the experience itself. Yeah, the thought of it can be exciting and fun, but it usually deviates from expectations, and it can often be a spectrum of things rather than an expectation. Sometimes it can be pretty hard or even scary.
Look at this. Bruh.
But it can also be fulfilling and bring you into new heights or perspectives. I personally feel very alive on these solo trips, like alive in the sense that I am very connected to what I'm feeling. And usually this means that the highs are very high and the lows can be very low. It's like putting an amplifier on your emotions. But when you really think about it, it's not an amplifier, it's rather that you might be desensitized to your own emotions. I've heard this is often why people quit on the start of long hikes. When you go from your everyday noisy, busy life to living a very simple life in a tent, the initial wave of negative emotions can be kind of overwhelming. Even on just a short 3-day trip, you can really feel the rawness. When I leave my solo backpacking trips, I usually feel very happy with high spirits. Like, yay, civilization and a comfortable bed. But also my mind is less cluttered, and it's like a lot of negative things get weeded out while I'm out there. In a way, it can be like therapy, but one where the therapist feels like they're trying to kill you at some point. That time recently when I got hit by the worst thunderstorm ever.
This is honestly, I'm actually really fucking scared.
This brings me to another topic about the hobby, and that's that the experience generally gets better with doing it more. Like I said, I never grew up doing this stuff, so I made a lot of mistakes. But usually, the first time I experience something, it usually comes with a stronger reaction. When I camped alone through a thunderstorm for the first time, that really freaked me out. When the storm passed, I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad, I guess. Even though it mentally sucked in the moment, it just goes to show you that even when you experience moments like these for the first time, your mind doesn't really know how to react. Hearing lightning crash right next to you will probably always make me jump, but at least next time I won't be so worried about the rain. I think doubts are very normal, especially if you have a narrow experience bank on something like I did. During my Tricorner trip, I had planned to do a 17-mile day, which I had only done 14 miles of hiking in a day up to that point. So I was kind of like pushing into this new territory for myself. In my mind at camp, I was like, can I really do that? And even if I can, I still have to do a 15-mile day after that. I have never done that many miles in a 2-day period. It's kind of paradoxical though, because it's the not knowing aspect that kind of makes it more exciting, and it makes you want to see if you can do it. But also, it's these same things that kind of give you doubt. And this doubt can be the reason why you might think about quitting. A lot of the first year of backpacking might just be about doubt for me. On my first ever backpacking trip, I definitely remember saying to myself on the second night, I'm not really sure if I love this. Not only was the doubt related to backpacking, but also my personal life. But as I did more backpacking, I kind of realized that a lot of these doubts became softer. I don't think that doubts ever go away. You kind of just get mentally stronger. And I think this has been the most difficult aspect of backpacking for me thus far. And as I've gotten more experience, the mental side of the game has kind of become more manageable, I think. I do want to say that backpacking as a whole has actually gotten better as an experience the more I do it. It's like the start of any hobby can be kind of uncomfortable, and it's always not true love at first sight. You kind of gotta push through those ugly moments and experiences to truly figure out what reward you're seeking. And I enjoy the reward I get from backpacking, so I'm gonna keep sticking with it.
So gone. Very beautiful though.